Pledge of the flag.
Oh, sorry.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have roll call, please. Here.
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 Here. Here.
Here.
All right. Additions of business, I believe we have one.
Actually, Mr. President, we have two tonight. If we could, I'd like to add a discussion regarding the property at 1801 Shankin. And number two, to add a discussion regarding Priority Waste and their services.
All right, Shankin, 12F sub 1. Is that?
You want to put it?
What are we doing it?
A discussion on Shankin, 12F.
Yeah, did you-
Setting 1.
S1?
F.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right after the building department fee schedule discussion.
got it, okay.
Right there.
Craig Strong is going to be here to talk about the building department fee question. He can also be here for the conversation on Shankin then too.
And then,
Priority.
where do we want to put priority?
Right after. Oh, priority.
Yeah, priority. Put it after the sewer maintenance?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All one? Okay.
Thank you.
Five, approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve is presented with amendment. Second.
A motion to approve in a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Correspondence information, we have 4 of them. First one's Vulcan County, the Community Development Block Grant that we're participating in. We have allocated half of the funds to the Oakland County Home Improvement Program and half to Haven. Also, a letter regarding additional stop signs on Lakeview. I think that's already on the agenda for today, too. That's, what is it?
Item 12J.
12J, thank you. And then the 40th anniversary celebration with Huron Valley Sinai Hospital. And last one, Oakland County will be doing beach sampling starting June 1st.
Motion to receive and file as presented. Second.
Motion received and file in a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item number 7 is first call to public. This opportunity for citizens to address the council on agenda items.
Motion open. Second.
A motion to open in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? My first call is open.
Hi, I'm Kristen Holt. I'm from Tampa Street. Again, thank you for building us those beautiful pickleball courts a few years ago. My friend and I were playing when we opened them. He's like, oh, I'm surprised you don't have what they're called elbow guards on the fences. They're little guards, plastic guards. Because at one time, he was playing in a park, broke his ribs. It's pretty easy to do. If you go like this and you bang into that thing. And he got a nice settlement from that park. So we brought that to Mark. He says, yeah, those elbow guards are a good idea. I think I heard that they purchased them. So it's been 3 years. Am I right that we have those elbow guards in our possession?
I'm not familiar with that.
Point of order, Mr. President. Is this on the agenda?
That's, thank you, Mark. It is not. These are for, first calls for agenda items.
I don't know how this works. I never do this.
Yeah, second calls for any other village business.
I really don't want to wait that long. But I would like to know if we have those in our possession, why don't we have them on the gates? 3 years? Come on, right?
Just a quick answer. I know we had talked about purchasing them. That was a recommendation that came from the Parks and Recreation Board. I'm not aware that we already have them, but I can check. So,
Mark, what is your, do you think we have them?
No, we had the old ones from
before we do the refinishing. But I don't know if they would be in the garage somewhere, so.
I mean, I just don't want to see a lawsuit against this place when we have them. That's what I heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Natalie Naughton. I live at 1121 Lakeview Drive. I know on tonight's agenda, you guys have the addition of the stop signs on Lakeview Drive, and I just wanted to take a moment and express my strong approval of these stop signs. With these stop signs, we're able to move our existing bus stop off of McCoy onto Lone Pine and Lakeview Drive. And this move is critical to providing a safe bus stop location for the children in our community. So thank you for your time, and thank you for everything you guys do for us.
Motion to close? Second.
We have a motion to close in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8, consideration of approving the consent agenda.
Motion to approve as presented. Second.
We have a motion by Duff, second by Newman. Any discussion? Have a roll call, please.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Agenda number 9, board appointments. It's recommended the council to appoint David Hunt to the Zoning Board of Appeals as a full member with a term expiring 12/31/2028.
Make a motion that we approve and appoint David Hunt to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second?
Motion by Duff, second by O'Brien. Any discussion?
Just a quick housekeeping item. On the memorandum, it says the motion was made by Duff and seconded by Moretto. Councilmember Duff was not at the meeting. It was made by Chairperson Minnelli and seconded by Tupper.
Okay. Okay, we have our motion and second to appoint Dave Hunt to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Roll call, please.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Jeremini,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
And
Council, Mr. Hunt is here, so if I could get him to step to the podium, go ahead and swear him in, because we'll put him to work. We have a zoning board meeting next week. So,
right off the bat.
Very good.
Right off the bat.
thank you.
Welcome.
Nothing fancy. This is the same oath that we ask all of our board and commission members to take before they take office. So if you could please raise your right hand and then repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully perform
and I will faithfully perform
the duties of
the duties of
the office of
the office of
Zoning Board of Appeals
Zoning Board of Appeals
in and for
in and for
the Village of Wolverine Lake,
the Village of Wolverine Lake,
County of Oakland,
County of Oakland,
and State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll get you a sign on that line right there, please.
Okay, can do that.
We've got all your contact information. We'll get you all the information for the
All right.
meeting next week.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mr. President, the ZBA meeting is actually the 21st, not next week.
21st.
It's according to the calendar.
Probably my mistake. You're
No
right.
worries.
Okay, so it's the 21st.
Third Tuesday, that'd be correct, yes.
Thank you, Mark. With second board appointment, it's recommended to council to appoint Mary Jo Hurst to the Beautification Committee as an alternate member.
Motion to approve Mary Jo Hurst to the Beautification Committee as an alternate member.
Motion by Duff, second by Newman. Any discussion? Let's have a roll call. Please.
Newman?
Yes.
Markey?
Yes.
Claiborne?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Duff?
Yes.
McNutt?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
All right, presentations. The Onwards and Upwards Scholarship Award.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening, and thank you, council members, for the time once again this year to provide some recognition to our two scholarship, Onwards and Upwards scholarship recipients. Onwards and Upwards is very pleased to be able to offer two $2,000 scholarships again this year. As you know, we have named these scholarships after two very long time and very beloved members of our community. One of them is Danny Latta, and the other is Mike Kondick. Now, Mike was not actually a resident of the village, but he was a very important part of our community. And that made us think that maybe what we need to do with one of these scholarships is open it up to non-residents. So the one bearing his name is open to both residents and non-residents, as long as the people have done volunteer work and lived up to the requirements of this scholarship. We solicit applications from people who have been active in the village, working on whatever sort of volunteer work we have going. And I say people because there is no age limit. So older people that are doing some sort of continuing education are also eligible. Our attempt is to support volunteerism and community involvement because we feel strongly that that is important to maintaining a vibrant and fun and active community, which we're happy to have. So it's our way to try to support that. And this year's scholarship recipients are both splendid examples of exactly the sort of thing we're trying to encourage. So I would like to ask them both to come up, stand on either side of me while I say a few words about each of them. Then I'll give them a little certificate, and that'll be a photo op. So we have this year Molly Van Ben Schoten. You might recognize her because she looks an awful lot like her sister Grace, who was also a recipient several years ago. Molly has followed in her sister's footsteps, and I forgot to mention, she is here this evening accompanied by her parents, Matt and Caitlin. And she, the work that she's been doing with the village is pretty long-term. She's been active helping out with the annual village corn roast and with Snacks with Santa. She works with Parks and Rec quite a bit. She also helped the Lake Area Youth Assistance with their Taste of the Lakes fundraiser. She's on the National Honor Society, and she's quite involved with Giving Tree, the Giving Tree Club, co-president actually of the local chapter. And they do things like prepare sandwiches for the homeless and deliver them. They collect or make blankets, collect gifts for needy families at the holidays and give those out, all kinds of wonderful things. So she's been very active, and we encourage her to continue that in every community that she lives in throughout her life, because that is part of being an involved part of the community. So she will get her certificate in just a moment. Molly's going to be going to Michigan State this fall, and she's going to study data science. Our second recipient is Michael Verga. He is a resident of Walled Lake, and he's here this evening with his mother, Stacy. Michael also helps and has helped in many of Parks and Rec activities, most prominently the Village Corn Roast. It's a big one, and we all know that without a lot of volunteers, we could never pull that one off, so thank you both. Encourage your friends to continue to come. He also put in 56 hours with the St. Williams Fish Fry. And he's many, many hours on a variety of sporting activities, support of sporting activities in the high school and middle school, and even Helen Guest. School, running the clock at games and running the gym during practices and all those kind of things. He had to list them for me because I didn't even know all the different things that were involved, working at swim meets. And he plays basketball himself. And he's also involved or has been with United Sports, which I wasn't aware of, but that's a special needs sporting activity where children with special needs are encouraged and shown how to participate in sports, but given sort of an assistant as they go. Many of you may know more about it than even I do, but he's been quite active in that as well. Michael will be going to University of Michigan this fall, and he'll be studying mechanical engineering. So we thank you both very much and encourage you to continue being good community members wherever you are, and thank you. So I have a little certificate for each of you. A little photo op. Kathy will be trying to take a picture. She's also on the board. She's on that board. Okay. Danny Latta Scholarship, frequency Danny Latta Scholarship. Thank you, board. Council, appreciate the time again.
Thank you, Monique, and thank you and congratulations. Appreciate it. Now we're at 10B, recommendations, updates from Mike Powell.
Good evening, Council. Hopefully, this is the last time you see anything regarding the ditch enclosure on Wolverine Drive. This particular pavement request is for A&R seal coating. We had a driveway. It's a circle drive driveway that had to be dug up in order to put that pipe in right next to the Greenaway drain. And the repair ended up pulling away from the existing asphalt. When you saw cut, it pulls away, and we've experienced that elsewhere in the village. To do the actual asphalt repair would have cost us about $1,500 to take the asphalt out and put new asphalt in. In talking with the property owner, he agreed that it would be better for he and the village to seal coat the repair, fix some of the cracking, and then seal coat the rest of his drive for only $950. So it was a good $600 savings to just seal coat the driveway. So A&R seal coating came in this year, and by the way, A&R is the same company that does the crack sealing in the village each year. For $950, they did a great job, and we recommend payment for their services.
Make a motion that we issue a payment of $950 to A&R Seal Coat.
Second.
We have a motion by Duff, second by Newman. For pay A&R, any discussions? Have a roll call?
Jeremy,
Yes.
Nutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
Mickey,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Mike. It's 10C, the community garden update. I believe Carmine was planning on being here.
Actually, and he is still planning on being here. He is in the band, and he is at band practice right now. So I told him if he wasn't able to be here by the time we reached this item on the agenda, that we would hold it over, and I expect he will be able to join us before we get through the rest of the business on the agenda. So if we could just pass this by for now.
Pass through. 11 public hearings for the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget.
Motion to open the public hearing for fiscal year 2026 to 2027 budget.
Second.
We have a motion by Duff and a second by Newman to open. Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. It's open regarding the fiscal year 26-27 budget.
Motion to close the public hearing for the 2026-2027 budget.
Second.
Motion by Duff, second by Newman to close. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. That brings number 12, new business and approval of the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget and related items.
Motion to adopt and approve the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget and related items.
Second.
We have a motion by Duff and a second by O'Brien to adopt the budget. Any discussions on that? Let's have a roll call, please.
Nicknack,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Let's have a motion for each one. All right, so no. That's right. So on 12A2, approval of appropriations resolution.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So motion by Duff, second by Newman to adopt. Any discussion? Have a roll call.
Claiborne,
Yes.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Nutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Thank you. 12A3, establish millage rate for the fiscal year 2026-2027.
Motion to approve millage rate.
Second.
Motion by Duff, second by O'Brien. Any discussions on that? I know it's gone down. Because of the Headley Act, yeah, because of the Headley Act. Any
For
discussions?
the record, is there a number?
Yeah, it's 9.3969, and that is, that goes down each year. We've maxed out, we have the ability to have a millage up to 20 mils, but from the time we made that, when we established that millage rate, every single year since that year, it's ratcheted down every single year. But the thing was, we were always at 9.573, and that number was always below what it was ratcheting down. So it was ratcheting down over, 20 or 30 years, from 20 mils down to this. And so now, each year, so last year was our first year with a lower millage than 9.573, which is the one we've had for many, many years. And this year, again, it's come down a little bit more from there. And it's going to continue to do that every year. So at some point, probably the village may want to look at increasing the millage, the mills allowable. And that's a pretty involved process. But as it is right now, because of people who are exchanging, who are selling their properties, a new person comes in, their property's uncapped, we have enough revenue, and so because of that, we're okay. They are looking at legislation, like I had said last month, to get rid of that uncapping factor. So there's, I think it just passed the House this week. I got notification there was, several changes that could be coming to the way that the millage is established. And It has not passed the Senate yet, but it has passed the House. So there could be changes in the future. We might have to look at doing something different, but for now, we're doing fine. There's no reason to ask for more mills when we have enough revenue. So for everybody, their millage is going down a little bit.
Thank you.
So, yep.
It's a decrease of 0.9910 from the previous year.
Yep, that's correct.
So we have a motion and a second to establish millage rates. May I have a roll call, please? Yes.
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 All right. Brings us to 12A, subset 4, tax collection fee.
Motion to set tax collection fee.
Second.
A motion to set the tax collection fee in a second. Motion by Duff, second by Newman. Any discussions on that? Roll call.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
5, approval of waiver of tax penalty and interest, summer deferment.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Duff and a second by O'Brien to approve the waiver of tax penalty and interest. Any discussion on that? Let's have a roll call.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
12A6, addition to special assessments and delinquent bills to the 2026 tax roll.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Duff, second O'Brien. Any discussion? Let's have a roll call.
Newman,
Yes.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
All right, brings us to E, the fiscal year 2026 budget amendments.
Motion to approve the amendments.
Motion by Duff to approve and second by Newman. Any discussion on that? Let's have a roll call.
Jeremy,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Uh, 12C, Parks and Recreation Board recommendation, request council release funds for the 5K.
Motion.
Second.
Again, these are budgeted funds, so I have a motion by Duff, second by Newman. Any discussion? Let's have a roll call.
McNutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Claiborne,
Yes.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
12D, Zoning Board of Appeals recommendation, they recommend to council that they accept the resignation of Jennifer Newman.
Motion to accept Jennifer Newman's resignation from the ZBA.
Second.
A motion by Duff, second by O'Brien, to accept Jennifer Newman's resignation from the ZBA. In discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer, for your time. Beautification Committee recommendation, they recommend to council the Clara Miller Park Storage Building be power washed and a fresh coat of paint be done to further highlight the new mural and additional landscaping.
Mr. President, just one comment on this recommendation. The entire building has in fact been power washed.
Okay.
You recall that the west side was power washed before Rich Ayers, the DIA artist, completed the mural there while the DPW was power washing the west wall. They power washed the entire building, so
Okay.
we're already one up on that sense, so.
Are they going to repaint the same color or a different color?
Nothing in the motion that by the Beautification Committee regarding one, color, two, cost.
And this isn't an issue that I've discussed with the DPW. The priority was getting the building power washed. They've also put a drip irrigation system in out there to water the new plants that are going in. We've had to have some discussion. Andy Stone thinks we would be smart, given that we're making some improvements around the outside of the building, to probably add some gutters at some point in time, but that's just discussion at this point in time.
Gutter, right now, when the rain is coming off the roof, it's just ripping apart the newly cut out landscaping that they have put in. So it's draining and everything else, so gutters would not hurt.
Yeah.
In terms of painting the building and all of that, I would recommend that we move this to the Park and Rec Board and have them review that and discuss color and other ideas.
I'll second that.
Feels like it's kind of their domain anyways.
A dollar amount too.
Yeah.
Of course.
Figure that out, yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion to move it to the Parks and Rec
And a second.
by Jeremy and a second by Duff. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Brings us to agenda item 12F, and this is the building department fee schedule. Craig Strong. Thank you.
Yeah, Council, we can start this item by introducing Craig Strong. I think a couple of you might have had a chance to meet him already, but he works with Carlisle Wortman Associates, and he's one of the principal plan reviewers there at CWA, and he's been doing the bulk of the plan reviews for us here in the village, along with working with our building inspector, Chris Brinkmeyer, on the other building-related issues that have come in. So we're very happy to have Craig with us in general, and pleased to have him with us here tonight, too.
Good evening, and good to finally meet all of you. This is loud. So when we first started, one of the tasks that we were given was review the village's fee schedule. And I understand that from looking back at records, the best we could determine was the last time it was reviewed was 2013. So knowing that, we took a look at a comparison, which we typically do to show the community different like size as best we can communities and building permit activities within other communities, which I've shown you in this document. Basically, after we obtained all the information, it shows that on average your fees are about 14% lower than these other communities that were compared. And when we took that 14% and tacked it onto what it actually cost to run the department, it's still not enough to cover the village. The fees just aren't enough to take care of the overhead and the operations that it takes to run a building department. And I think the basic reason for that here in Wolverine Lake is the lack of commercial property. Commercial permit fees typically help subsidize in some way the residential process throughout, and we just don't have enough commercial property here to do that. So we're relying on residential permit fees to handle the costs of the building department. So what we did and what we're proposing is the International Code Council basically publishes a fee recommendation, which is approved and accepted by the state of Michigan. And that's important to know because the state at any time under a complaint can come down to Wolverine Lake and review your operation here and make recommendations and basically force you to do certain things. But in this case, we want to make sure that you're not doing something that the state doesn't like. And in this case, they have approved this method. Basically what it does, we take a look at the overall construction valuation, and that is the actual cost of each project that a person may be doing, and we just basically add those up. But in Wolverine's case, you're averaging about $3 million a year in construction valuation, and that's pretty low for a building department. So if you do the math, basically it says that you take the construction valuation, you divide the, in this case, $56,000, which is the annual cost to operate your department, and you end up with a fee multiplier. And I think in page 2 of the document, I give you some examples of the increases. Actually, it's on page 1. So there's 3 examples there.
I'm sorry, Craig, the document that you have, that wasn't provided to council.
It wasn't.
No. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had that.
no, I have it, but I didn't include it.
Okay,
with the-
so they haven't seen this information, so it's new to them.
In terms of the actual calculations, that's correct, yes.
Okay. Basically, it's just a formula, and it's the budget amount and your actual activity, which the activity is the raw number of what the construction valuation is per year. And if you do the math and you want to recoup 100% of those fees and operate your department in the black every year, then that's what you should be charging on your permits to collect those fees. In the case of 100% funded, it's basically going to double your permit fees. And then I gave a couple other options there, and it's also provided for in the ICC. You're not required to fund it 100%. You can make a decision as a board to fund it at 75 and then cover the rest of the cost through the general fund. Or you can pick another number, 65 or 50%. But in this case, it's really up to the board what you want to do. Do you want it to completely fund the building department? If so, then our recommendation is that you go to the full multiplier and fund it at 100%. I know that probably confused everybody. Is there any questions at this point?
The only question I have so far is, most of them make a lot of sense, but the zoning board variance, I mean, that's almost, I mean, that's a huge jump on that one.
It is. It's a huge jump, and here's the thing: when there's a lot of cost to a ZBA application. First off, you take in the application, and then someone has to review it, and it's usually our planner on our side, which costs money, and then it goes forward, and then there's publication requirements. So they have to send out, the staff has to pull from a map every property within, I believe it's 300 feet, and send those folks a notice. And they also have to publish the notice in a local newspaper, or I guess Facebook now is an option, but so there's cost to all that. Once they finally get to the meeting, you have costs of the attorney, you have costs from the planners, and there's also
We have a recording secretary,
recording secretary. So
our videographer.
So even the $750 is most likely not going to cover those costs. You're still going to, the public is paying, your taxpayers are paying for their zoning request. The other thing the zoning request does, or the fee does, is it kind of sways the people one way or the other. Do I really want to pay this money for such a trivial thing? It might be a 4-inch variance for a fence. No, I don't need that. I'll put it where it's supposed to be. So there's a couple of schools of thought there. And again, it's up to the board. If you decide you want to basically have the taxpayers pay.
No.
Okay, so I think I answered your
No,
question.
I was just more curious. Yeah, you explained it very well. Thank you.
Okay,
Great.
you're welcome.
Actually, Craig and I discussed the possibility of even raising the fee to $1,000. But we thought we would start at the $750, and it can always be evaluated and readjusted down the road, either up or down, as the case may be.
Right. Any other questions on the actual fee recommendation?
And again, I fully support, I'm sorry, Pam.
No, I was going to say, it makes sense, and I agree with, I think, David, you said somewhere in the information here that it's not fair for other people in the village to be paying for this, with our tax dollars. So I think those that are requesting these permits should be the ones that are footing the bill. I totally agree with that. I was just looking for more explanation, which.
Sure,
you
I
gave.
Understand.
Thank you. Yeah.
And like with the zoning board fees, the building permit fees, this is not an exact science. Craig did his analysis and has made a recommendation that what he thinks is going to put us in the ballpark of being 100% funded. It may not. We may still be short, or we may actually be bringing in a little bit more than what our costs are, which we're allowed to do, as long as the costs are reasonably related to what our expenses are. But my point being is, like the zoning board fees, if we need to, we can come back and we can readjust the building permit schedule down the road. So this is not set in concrete. So.
I think what we'd like to do when we propose a fee amendment is to take another look at it after a year and see how things are going, and then report back to the board. If there needs to be an adjustment, either up or down, then that's the time to do it. But you should be looking at your fees at least every 5 years.
Yeah.
Craig, I noticed on here that it says that all permit fees are doubled for working without a permit. Do we have that currently in place right now?
No,
So that was.
that's why I'm
good to
adding
know.
it, because we've had some problems. Yeah.
Now, if we adopt this and it goes into place as of July 1st, is it work that was done prior to that, or is it when the permit is pulled?
It's when the permit's pulled,
Okay.
or when they're found to be working without one. So if this is put in place, then we at least have that.
Sure.
Because Dave knows how much time that we have to spend when we find a project that is working without permits. It takes a lot of time. So,
Make a motion that we adopt the proposed new fee schedule.
Second. A motion by adopting, a second by Brian to adopt the new proposed fee schedule. Any discussion? I think we had some already. Roll call.
Claiborne,
Yes.
Kuznicki,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Jeremini,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brings us to, might want to stay up there. We got,
We're going to talk about it.
yeah, might want to stay up there. 12F subset 1, which was additions to business at the beginning of the meeting. And that's 1801 Shankin.
This is an item that I believe Councilman Germini had asked. He added to the agenda tonight.
So just in the time that we've been dealing with this project has been going on for over a year. We discovered it, and it's just gone on and on and on. In the time since this happened, a pergola's flown off the structure and hit a house. Luckily, it hit a house and not a person, but it hit something, because it wasn't properly secured, wasn't properly permitted, along with everything else that's gone on there. In the past month, or in the previous meeting, we motioned and to recommend that if needed, we take them to court. They still haven't submitted any permit to the office. I understand now they've made some progress and have been in regular contact with Craig. Having spoken to Craig earlier today, I feel more confident in where we're going, but I think it's important that as a council, all of us are fully aware of what's going on due to the fact that this has been going on for so long. It's such a visible thing for anybody who's on the lake. And if it's encouraging, and if we don't act and aren't powerful and strong in our position, it's just going to encourage others to take liberties with their homes and avoid coming to the office and getting the permits and they'll just do whatever they want or think they can do whatever they want. So I'm pleased that not only we just voted to have a penalty on permits if they don't get them, but also glad that we can have Craig now kind of provide us with a good explanation of where they're at and where he sees things going.
I can give you a quick update of where things are today with 1801 Shanken. I spoke with, well, first off, we concentrated on what we can see from the lake. There were other problems that we're dealing with there inside the house as well, but it took us quite a while to get the owner on board with, look, this is not going to work. I gave them the ordinances. I met with their architect, and we basically got a plan together. I believe it was a company out of Novi that actually ended up supplying the landscape design that was approved. And then I just recently learned, I believe it's Lorenzo Landscaping. He's a local company, lives right on the lake. Just signed a contract with the owner, and the landscape company called me to let me know that they will be starting within 4 weeks. And he told me, he says, I look across the lake and I see that. So he says, we're going to fix it. That's the first item. So I'm hoping all that goes smooth and you start seeing some activity over there within the next month. The other issue we had was he did an enormous amount of work inside the home without any permits. It's all documented in this report. And I've basically told him that we want his contractors to come in and get their permits, electrical, mechanical, building, and plumbing. All of those trades are involved in what was done. So I had that communication with him on Friday. He was in New York at the time. But he assured me that he will get his contractors in here and get permits. We don't have any yet. So, and David's told me that he's alerted the prosecutor. And frankly, I would welcome the prosecutor getting involved just to set, so if we need to, we can have the court set some deadlines so this goes smoothly. Because at any time, he could fail to do something and then we're right back to square one. So with the courts involved, it would be a different story.
So he was first aware that he needed the permits for the inside stuff you said on Friday, is that?
No, he knew that
Okay.
at least a month or so ago. But again, our main concentration when we first went over there was to get the landscaping issue. There was quite a bit involved in that. And then we basically came in and followed up with the inside of the house. So that's where we're at now.
I think the homeowner was aware they needed permits, though, a year ago when there was a couple of stop work orders that were placed on the property.
That's correct.
So it's well longer than a month ago. Just if we're talking timeline, it's been over a year. I think Chief served a couple of stop work orders last summer,
It was last April, in fact.
Yeah.
So,
over a year.
and Craig has been actively engaged with the homeowner. I think you started, in September or October? So I think it was October or November that since that time, you've been engaged with the homeowner.
Yes.
So,
So since we issued stop work orders last year, since then, they should not have done anything to the house, inside or outside.
without permits, that's correct.
I don't think that happened. I strongly believe that they continue to do work inside the house based on things I've seen for social media and other things, that they were continuing to do work and were probably ignoring what we told them not to do. And they were not abiding by our code.
It's just the fact that we had to post the stop work order twice,
Mhm.
so.
I'll make a motion that we direct our attorney to take and follow up with the prosecutor.
Second.
We have a motion by Duff, second by Jeremini for our attorney to follow up with the prosecutor.
And let's maybe get some
Yeah.
clarification or discussion. There there are two different roads that we could go down here. One, Jennifer's the village attorney, and she would be the one that would file an action in circuit court, asking the circuit court judge to get involved and to order the property be brought into compliance. Chuck Snell is the village prosecutor. He would have responsibility if we were issuing tickets and going through the district court. My recommendation, because this is a huge issue, a huge amount of work and work that's already been done, that if we are going to take any legal action, that we would go the route of the circuit court action as opposed to going through the district court. So,
Friendly amendment to my motion.
Second.
Okay, we have an amended motion and a second. Any discussions?
And just to add to that, if you did go through your prosecutor and issue citations, it'd be at 52nd First District Court. And they don't have injunctive relief at 52nd First District Court. They may take some kind of quasi-injunctive measures occasionally, but it's kind of random. So it just depends on the judge you draw and whether they're motivated to do that. Circuit Court has that ability to stop work, to order demolition of the building if necessary. Now, it's a longer process than district court, but you definitely will get more impact. And it's unfortunate that you have to look at that, but you have been, if this were something that had been going on for a couple months, I certainly wouldn't recommend the circuit court approach, but this has been going on over a year, and you've issued 2 stop work orders, and it's on social media. I didn't even, know that part until now, but that's, unfortunate, but you have to stand your ground at some point with this.
It takes 5 minutes from their house to go to this office and get a permit.
Right. And
then-
everyone else
we
does
made
it.
this, we talked about this in May, so they had all that time to say, hey, can you please go to the office and initiate a permit? And they still haven't done that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I would encourage you to do that. And honestly, commencing an action in circuit court doesn't mean you have to go all the way to trial. There is a lot of times when you get to the point where you're commencing an action in circuit court, it gets that person's attention, and they start, what can I do? But they're motivated more so than they are now.
and you'll have a judge that's looking for a fair resolution for everybody involved, and someone that hopefully, will have the teeth to hold everybody to their feet to the fire, so.
Great. All right, so we do have a motion and a second. Have a roll call vote on that?
Yes.
Claiborne?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thanks, Craig.
Just 12G, the contract for services with Lakes Area Youth Assistance for 2026, 2027.
Motion to accept as presented.
A motion to accept by Duff.
Second.
Second by Newman. Any discussions? It's a roll call. Yes.
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 12H, BSNA software upgrade with the customer agreement.
Motion to accept as presented.
Second.
I have a motion to accept by Duff as presented, and a second by O'Brien. Any discussions with this? Okay, roll call, please.
Jeremini?
Yes.
Kuznicki?
Yes.
Claiborne?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Yes.
Duff?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Brings us to 12I, the Michigan Municipal League Liability and Property Pool Proposal from 7/1/26 to 6/30/27.
Motion to accept as presented.
I A motion to accept as presented by Duff and second by Newman. Any discussion?
Yeah, just what was the, do you happen to know what the post-renewal dividend was last year? Has it gone up or gone down, or?
I believe it's gone down. I'd have to check to get the exact figure, but it has gone down slightly.
Figured.
Does it ever go up?
It's a difference of like 2,000 something dollars. Yeah, it was that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Nikki?
Yes.
Claiborne?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Ramey?
Yes.
Nutt?
Yes.
Duff?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Comes to 12J. This is the approval for the traffic control order 26-002. It's regarding the installation of stop signs on Lakeview.
Motion to adopt as presented?
Second?
We have a motion to adopt and by Duff, second by O'Brien. Any discussion?
Just in terms of the broader component of it, Chief, do you think that you're going to be able to get it so that they do move the bus stop in time for the new school year and everything?
According to Brian Wahowiak of Dean Transportation from Wall Lake Community Schools, that's the plan. They're going to start that at that location next year. They're going to speak with the parents of the other 2 bus stops along McCoy that are less populated. They're going to talk to the parents of those folks and see if they would be willing to move up to Lakeview. So all of the stops will be off McCoy and onto Lakeview. So I think I have to follow up at the beginning or sometime in the summer of this year before the school year starts to see if that's actually going to happen or not. But I know the one that we initiated the stop signs at, that is going to move there at the beginning of next year. There's only 9 days left in the last year, so that's why they did not move up there.
Right.
Why they didn't, I don't know, but I guess they have protocols as well, so, yeah.
Great.
I'll report later.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second to adopt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Get new stop signs and new bus stops. Safer.
Jump in real quickly. Councilman Germini, the renewal distribution last year was $3,097. So about $1,800 more than what we're talking about this year.
Thank you.
It never goes up. It's 12K, the Metro Act permit application. Wide Open West, Mid-Michigan. I think their DBA is Wall Fiber, looking for a right-of-way.
Motion to accept as presented?
We have a motion to accept as presented by Duff,
Second?
second by O'Brien. Any discussion?
This is one of those basically just formulaic things. Can't really, they just need to have us approve it, and they're going to do it because that's state law, right? Okay. Right, all right. Thank you.
We did look at, do they have the right insurance?
Yeah,
and
of course.
coordinating with the contractor.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. 12L, the sewer system operation and maintenance. I think this is regarding memorandum of understanding with Oakland County.
Council, let me offer just a little bit of explanation on this item. This is really a precautionary item, if you will. I think I've been updating you over the last several months. It's been our position that pursuant to agreements that have been in place for a number of years, that Commerce Township is responsible for the operation and maintenance of the sanitary sewer system in the village. There was a little bit of a disconnect, I think, because of a new personnel both at the township and here at the village over the last couple of years. But once all the information became clear, I've had conversations with several people at the township, and I believe the township agrees with us that it is their responsibility. And to the extent it's their responsibility, then it becomes the responsibility of their current contractor, F&V Operations. So the township agrees that it's their responsibility. Right now, we're just waiting to hear from F&V that they have the manpower and the capacity to actually take over responsibility as of July 1, when the current agreement that we have with the Water Resource Commissioner's office, which historically has provided the operation and maintenance here in the village, when that agreement expires. So if F&V is able to step up as of July 1, that will end our relationship with the WRC, and there won't be any need for me to execute any extensions or any other memorandums. On the other hand, we don't think it's going to be the case, but if for some reason we hear from F&V that they're not ready to step up that quickly, then it would be necessary for me to go ahead and extend our agreement with the county for another 90 days to allow F&V to get up to speed. Worst case, if we actually have to do that, Commerce will go ahead and reimburse us for the costs that we incur with the WRC over that third quarter, the same as they're going to reimburse us for the cost that we've had over the second quarter and the first quarter as well. So this is hopefully a bullet I will never have to use, but I did want to make sure that I had the authorization so our residents would be protected as of July 1, one way or the other.
Motion to approve the memorandum as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Duff, second by Newman to approve as presented. Any discussion? I think it's great to have. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That brings us to L subset 1, hot topic priority.
And I think this was an item that Councilman Giramini has to have added to the agenda.
Thank you. So every 3 months, Priority comes to a meeting, and they tell us that they're buying new equipment, they're hiring more people, service is going to get better, and we believe them. The last 2 months in particular, last 2 visits in particular, Record came here and said, CEO, founder was fired, we have new money coming in, new investors, and we're going to buy new trucks, we're going to hire more people, service is going to get better. And then just this past month in May, came the meeting, we got a new we just got acquired by a new company, we're buying new carts and getting those out to people, and all of our suppliers have been paid, and service is going to get better. For 3 straight weeks now, they have not come close to completing their Monday pickup in the village. All that we and every other municipality have received is an I'm sorry and a statement that things will improve. As we all experienced this year, or in 2025, the bulk leaf pickup was a disaster and entirely the fault of Priority. Their response when questioned on this was that we should just stop doing the bulk leaf pickup. And yet, despite all this, despite that lack of a really serious response, we still paid them in full for their service, even though there were residents who did not get their leaves picked up because they were buried in snow, and the tin claw could not tell, was that just a giant pile of snow or leaves? The residents of Wolverine Lake deserve better than that, and more critically, are paying for better than that. None of us here would stand for that if it was a contractor at our home or at our business. Routinely late, routinely failing to do their job, and always coming up with an excuse, and never actually getting better. I'm certain that Priority will be expected to be paid in full at their next invoice, despite the fact that they have not been living up to their contract. And I'm just wondering, how long are we going to put up with this? We are seeing other municipalities question this, withhold funds, switch providers. I know we are in a contract until the end of 2028. And I don't know whether that's the process that we now pursue, is to terminate that contract and look into that, or doing something else. I know that we're limited by what is written there, but it's time for us to stop accepting apologies and demand accountability. So I asked Dave, I'm like, what is the process that it would look like if we did decide to pursue a breach of contract, or whatever you want to term it as, with Priority?
Well, if you're talking about potentially terminating the contract, the way our contract is written, and I haven't seen contracts in, in any other communities, but I would assume that there are a variety of different contracts, in different terms, different remedies, some that probably provide for liquidated damages, that is a specific penalty for missing pickups and things like that. Ours does not. The language in our contract actually dates back to like 2015 or 2017, when it was Waste Management and Allied Waste Services that was picking up here in the village. Essentially, what the contract provides is that if there's a material breach of the contract, and we can debate as to what's a material breach and what isn't, I guess that's what lawyers get paid for, but if there is a material breach, then the village is in a position to provide a 7-day written notice to Priority Waste. And after they receive the written notice, then they have 7 days to correct the breach. And if they correct the breach, then the contract picks up where it was before. On the other hand, if within that 7-day period, they do not correct the breach, then the village is in a position to go ahead and move forward and terminate the contract. Now, if you're going to terminate a contract, you have to make sure that there's somebody else that's ready to step in and pick up, fill in the breach. So it wouldn't do us any good to terminate the contract if we didn't have somebody ready to start picking up our trash. But anyway, to answer your question, that's what the contract provides.
Okay, because I think that a lot of people wonder about that as well in the public and things. But I did last night, posted on Facebook, just asked, who's had their something picked up today? And that was Tuesday, because not so much was missed on Monday. Practically nothing was picked up yesterday, other than yard waste off of Shankin and all those, Ventura, et cetera. It didn't sound like much else was done. Now, finally today, it sounds like they finally got some garbage on Teleco. They finally got my recycling this evening. But this is just out of control. Like, they've gotten so much progressively worse in an incredible short time. And I know it's not just here, it's a systemic issue with this company. I also understand that, obviously, if we're going to terminate the contract, like you said, we've got to have something lined up, which isn't that easy to do if we have an existing contract. But there needs to be a way to turn the screws on them, that we need better service. This is just completely unfair to the people when they've got garbage in 90-degree heat cooking for 3-4 days. And we live in Oakland County, the wealthiest county in the state, one of the wealthiest counties in the country, and we can't even get a fundamental thing done right. And as I admit, I don't have the answer, but I feel like as a council, we need to find some way to get Priority to start taking us more seriously, because I don't think they do.
Dave, are we allowed to go out to bid while we're under contract?
There's nothing that would prohibit us from doing that, no.
How many other garbage, I don't even see any other garbage collections out there other than Priority Waste anymore. They seem to have bought up almost everybody. You don't see GFL anymore. You don't see, at least I don't. I mean, how many?
Yeah, it was GFL's residential accounts, that's what Priority acquired. So, yeah, GFL is not really a player in the residential field anymore anyway. I mean, there are a handful.
Duncan, Monroe.
There are a couple potentially out in Livingston County.
Yep.
Good.
And,
Waste Management's still in it. There's Express, who just picked up a contract from, that
over
was
on the
previously,
east side, I think, yeah.
that was previously held by Priority. And they're actually already, even though the contract hasn't initiated, they were already picking up yard waste for the new municipality because of how behind Priority has been.
I make a motion that we direct the administrator to look in terms of options for different waste removal companies.
Second.
So a motion by Duff to direct administrator to look at different companies for waste removal, and that's seconded by Jeremy. Any discussion on that?
Yeah, just another, going in this avenue. But I mean, we got to be clear to the public. We have a contract right now that is cost-wise reasonable. We know we're paying year over year. We know that the inflation rate on that is fixed, there could be sticker shock. But we are at that point where you get what you pay for, and we're not getting that for sure, but this is the alternative. So,
It's a start.
I just had a quick question for Jennifer. If we were to look at a new contract, are we able to add language into that contract with this new, potential new provider that would be more beneficial for the village versus the vendor?
Yes, like the liquidated damages
Right.
language. I mean, it is just going to depend on what your bid package is going to look like. That would be something that you would present in the bidding process.
Oh, it is, I know.
You can't go out for bids if that's what the route you're going to take, and then your contract include provisions like that. They have to know things like that ahead of time. It's been a while since we've looked at your waste collection bidding and contracts, so certainly I would definitely recommend that you do that. I mean, it might even have been before 2015 or 17. This might have been a while.
That was the oldest
Yeah.
document that I was able to find
Yeah.
on file, so
Mhm.
there might be
So-
something tucked away somewhere else. But
Certainly, we can put all new provisions in there, but we should, I'll, I mean, Dave knows what he's doing, but I can assist with helping him formulate a resolution to the immediate problem with priority and how we adjust that. Is there a way to notice breaches as they happen, like Monday, or, because it's an ongoing problem, and what happened with the leaf pickup, and, obviously we can't notice them for that now, but moving forward, like, do we just send them repeated notices every time there's a breach like this? I mean, that's things that we can look at as possible options. I'm not saying you can do that, but no, I don't have the contract in front of me.
just another thing on that, with showing breach. I encourage anybody watching, if you're missed for recycling or yard waste or garbage, either report it to the village or go on Priority's website and go through the portal and submit it. Even if everybody else on your street is missing, didn't get picked up either, every person who submits it adds to the case that they are in fact failing to do their job.
When residents go on the portal to report incidents, do you get notification of that too?
we have access to the portal that lists all the complaints that have
Okay.
been logged.
'Cause that will
The
be
ones that
helpful.
residents submit and the ones that we submit on behalf of the residents, both,
Okay.
yes,
Evidence.
exactly. Yeah, and this, from my perspective, based upon what I've seen driving around the village and the phone calls and emails, this seems to be, in terms of the weekly pickup, the worst week that we've had, particularly in terms of trash pickup. I talked to my wife tonight about it when I went home for dinner before the meeting. I said, you know what, it's one thing if they say they're going to pick up my yard waste on Monday, and they have issues occasionally, and they don't come until Tuesday. But personally, if it's a question or a choice between them picking up my garbage and them picking up my yard waste, if they're only going to get one, I would rather have them get my garbage, and get my yard waste the next day. But this week, again, as Mark mentioned, there was no yard waste pickup on Monday. There was minimal yard waste pickup yesterday. I don't know if there was any today from what I've seen. And we still have garbage out at the curb from Monday, and it's Wednesday night at 8:15. And it's been close to 90 degrees outside, too. I mean, it's nasty. So this, I think, is the worst week that we've had in terms of the regular weekly pickup service from our standpoint.
Yes, we have our motion and our second. So let's have a roll call. Make it happen.
Yes.
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 We'll keep you posted.
12M, the discussion regarding village communication strategy as requested by Councilperson Laybourne.
Yes, thank you. So this is stemming from the boil water advisory that was issued in Penny Lake Estates on May 12th. So I thought I would just give a quick synopsis of the timeline and then just some concerns that I had with the communication strategy that we deployed. So a boil water advisory was issued on May 12th, which was a Tuesday. We mailed out notices to the affected residents to satisfy state law. I believe we sent an email as well that day, which I wouldn't know because the email system doesn't work all the time and I never get the village emails. I think we posted it on Facebook, the notice as well. We had a council meeting on the 13th, which was a Wednesday. We were told that the advisory would most likely be lifted by the end of the week to stay tuned. The advisory was extended until at least Monday, that Thursday afternoon. So at that point, I did call our village administrator and had a quick conversation and just shared my thoughts on what else we might be able to do to support these residents during this advisory. I had a real concern that maybe not all residents had received the mailed notice or had a Facebook account and logged on to the page to see the note that they were currently under a boil water advisory. As I mentioned, our current email system has delivery issues, so that cannot be considered as a reliable communication option. And in fact, there were residents that did not receive the mailed letter until the weekend. So now that we're on the other side of this specific issue, what else can we do as a village to put ourselves in a better position to communicate emergent issues like this in the future? Do we look at like a mass communication or notification system that would allow us to send a text or have a phone call or an email notification in seconds? You don't have to have Facebook. You don't have to look in your mailbox. It's automatic. It would allow a resident to sign up once and have customized or specific neighborhood communications. So I just thought it was important, not that, like you mentioned, Dave, that we did satisfy state law, but I think mailing letters is just not where we need to be in this day and age with the technology that we have at our fingertips to get emergent communication out to communities.
Could we structure some kind of like groupings for, do like a mass SMS texting or something like that? Or do we, I mean, we could do an email route, but as Aaron mentioned, not everybody gets it. But just, or even automated phone calls. I dread that thought for some reason, but just something that would, people could easily sign up for and then get notified, particularly because of something like this, which hopefully, ideally, never happens again. But something like a boil water advisory that creates anxiety, uncertainty, fear. You know, a person finds out 3 days later they had a boil water advisory, they've been drinking their water, and now all of a sudden their hypochondria kicks in because they thought they're drinking something terrible. There's got to be, in this day and age, a faster way for us to reach, especially when we're talking 150 homes. It's not a massive, 10,000 people or anything like that we're trying to reach out to. I think there's got to be a better way when it's something that's in regards to like this.
I mean, we can look at options. We don't have any other options at this point in time in terms of a mass text or anything like that, but that's something we can look into. If that's the direction council wants to go.
That requires people signing up for it too.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the hard part is.
I'll make a motion that we direct our administrator to look into, I guess, texting, mass text option.
Mass communication.
Yeah. Phone, text, something.
I know when I was with Southline, we had a communication system called Nixle. It's for like communities and for stuff like that. And you can go online and you can actually sign up. You can get an email to your personal email as well as a instant text. So if we said there was a water main break, you put it right out and it goes out like right away. So you have it. So it's not cheap. But I can take a look into that too, because I think Southline is still using it. So I still get their Nixles, I still get their messages, but it's Nixle. It's a community service. But if you want to receive the messages and emails, and you can get either or both, you have to go up to the sign, you have to go onto the line, and you have to log in or sign in. It's free for the community. I mean, it's free for the citizens to get it, It's not free for the service that we have it, but I can look into that as well. It's called Nixle, Nixle.
And if it would offer the option or the ability to get texts as
Yeah,
well as
both. email.
email.
Yeah. I'll look into that.
Second?
Motion by Duff and a
Just
second by
a
Newman.
question, because this is something that I have personally have to deal with. Do we have any idea of demographics on some of those homes? Like, my husband does not computer, does not text. You know, if it happened to him, he would know. He depends on a landline and U.S. mail. I mean, maybe there's nobody left in the village besides him, you know, that operates that way. But I'm just saying out there still are a few stick in the muds that are not adapting to technology, so.
That's why the state requires us to mail the letters to each home. I believe that's why the state requires us by law to mail letters to each home, which we did.
I mean,
Well, I guess hopefully if we, say we did something like the mass text, and a neighbor happens to know that
Yeah.
a neighbor is living in a different era kind of thing, that they would be able to say, hey, by the way, the more, at least if, because you'll never hit everybody,
no,
but if you hit 95%, hopefully they'll reach the other 5%.
Yep.
But when we're doing it by mail and it takes so long. and
I
it's, you know,
totally agree. I mean,
Our
I
social
think
media is
it
a little
needs to be
wonky.
much, much faster than U.S. mail. I mean, I totally agree on that.
Well, we do post signs on all the stop signs when leaf pickup was working, for when leaf pickup was coming.
Yeah,
You
posting
could post
notices
something
around
to-
would help too.
Yeah, check website, call just something, so it's out there too. I mean, that's,
I think if something's really important, I think multiple ways of communication is best. I mean, you can never over-communicate.
well, we can start by looking into things and seeing what the cost effectiveness is with it. So we do have the motion in the second. Director, administrator, to look into those things.
What about posting signs maybe
Yeah.
at each corner saying there's a boil notice for Penny Lake Estates, call.
Yeah, call the
village
village.
Or
Yeah, I think. that would
details to follow in your mail, but, well, something like that.
Or even seeing if there's residents that live in those, the respective community wells areas that would be like captains, that would be willing to take that lead and notify people and would know who needs to know and things like that.
That's a good idea.
The signage issue is, in fact, is something that Erin brought up when she and I had talked. And then after that, she and I had discussed it, then the next day, then we ended up, the chief and I, on a chase for cases of water, so. But that would be another option, another possibility.
Okay. Again, we have our motion and our second, so we can start looking into some of those things. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Go ahead. So, and it looks like Carmine has joined us now, so this was under 10C is presentations. We cut that off a little bit until Carmine was here to update us on the community garden.
Yeah, Carmen, we gave you a chance to run to the restroom, so now.
That's all right.
Yep, and Carmine's right in the middle of his final exams now. Well, today was the last day, right?
Yeah.
All right, happy summer to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he came from marching band practice. So, Carmine, I asked you to come in just to give council one more update. I mean, on the community garden and all the work that you did over there.
So I finished it on May 2026.
Harder than you thought it would be, or easier than you thought it was?
It was a challenge to get them built.
How many did you build?
There's 6 of them, and they're divided in half. They're
Chairman, and you had mentioned in a phone conversation that we had about something that, one of the features of the boxes that you put there, there's a way that people can tell if they're,
So,
can you fill me in on that again?
so there's these signs that are attached that could be lifted up and turned around to to either be on an available side or a planted sign. So taken.
Wow, that's a good idea.
When I saw that, I thought that was the greatest little touch to it.
Yeah. So simple.
It just looks, it just adds character to it too, and it makes a lot of sense, yeah.
And they look beautiful. You should be really proud of your project.
I think we've already had inquiries, right?
We have, yeah, yep. Yeah, actually, the two I've gotten so far, interestingly, have been from Commerce residents, people who walk through the park. They'd like to be able to have one of the beds over there, so, and I guess I think Mark has done some work on this, kind of on behalf of Parks and Rec, and in terms of the procedure that we set up over there, what the policy is going to be. The question is, do we want to make the beds available first to village residents, maybe for a period of time, and then open up to the general public after that? We'll have to work some of those details, but I think Mark's going to take that to Parks and Rec and get input from them, and then next month or maybe probably August, the latest, I would think, we should have something we can bring back to council to bless, so.
Thank you to the city of Wixom for having a community garden, so I could just pull their flyer and take their good ideas that seem to work. That's going to help a lot.
It's already June. I mean, this is planting season. You don't want to have everything nailed down by the end of August when people should be reaping what they've been sowing.
I mean, the sooner we can, obviously, but, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks great, thank you.
Great
Yeah,
job.
thank you.
Thank
Good work,
you.
Aaron.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in tonight, too. I know you've had a busy day.
Busy. Happy summer. Leads us to 12N, set topics for the June 24, 2026 work session, and that's succession planning. And Administrator Gill and I were having a conversation, and maybe consider changing that to a special meeting, because if we decide that we want to act on something, that we'd be able to at that point, instead of waiting until the next scheduled council meeting. So,
Motion to schedule a special meeting on June 24th, specifically to discuss succession planning.
Second.
motion by Jeremy and a second by Duff to change it from work session to a special meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so, yeah, special meeting on June 24, 2026.
And just so everybody's clear, when we talk succession planning, we're talking my position, potentially the village engineer's position, and then possibly staff positions as well, administrative staff positions too, so.
I don't believe we have any pending business.
None tonight, thank you.
Leads us to item 14, which is the second call to public.
Motion open public.
It's an opportunity for citizens to address the council regarding village business. We have a motion to open. By Newman, second by Duff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Second call is open.
What kind of persistent guy aren't I? Unfortunately, that's from my DNA. I'm going to pass out this.
Mr. Laybourne?
David Labor,
Thank you.
2335 Shaking. Sorry about that. This country resisted the Nazis, the Germans, 219 days. Nobody in Europe went higher than 61. So it tells you what kind of people there are on that island. It's called Crete. And they slaughtered half of my relatives. But we slaughtered the hell out of them because they weren't able to go to Russia, to take over Russia, and then come over and take over the rest of Europe. And like Churchill and Stalin said, that heroes fight like the Greeks. And I don't know why I'm so persistent. It's in my genes. And after I visited my family and learned more about it, I can see why I am the way I am. One of the things that I get upset with is I'll ask a junior high or high school kid about 9/11, and they can't tell me what it is, which is pretty sad. On the other hand, I could ask my niece over there, and they could tell me about war that happened 400 years ago. And, but anyhow, I'm going to pass these out. We're going to have a meeting with Eagle and Lansing. We're putting a pretty good sized package, anywhere from boats going within 20 feet of my property that I'm getting a bill of $5,000 to repair my patio. And I think there's misinterpretation. We
Do you have an
got,
extra? Dave, do you have an extra one?
it's pretty standard. I covered that with you folks before, but you folks didn't have anything solid. But in 1941, this lake had rowboats because they were fishermen. They didn't have pontoons because pontoons didn't come until 1950 something. And a lot of people don't understand the shore is interpreted by Michigan courts as pulling the boat up into the grass and sand marshal. Now, I'd like to know where the village feels that these people have a dock. Because nothing in the deed says there's docking space. And what we were hoping for is to have these parks like we have in the western part of the village, nice grass area, people go there for a picnic and so forth. You look at the east side of the lake, you see all these boats, which is fine, except they aren't supposed to be there. And they're getting about $1,500 a year free to keep their boats there. Now, the people that can't put a boat there, what happens? Their house is not worth as much as the guy that says, oh, I got a spot down the road on the park. So we're going to have a team, but I only want to deal with the higher ups there to get this straightened. Because I told them, we have a beautiful community. I worked on it for 25 years here. I've been to Lansing 4 times, twice for the village, where the stumps and the chemicals, and both of them, they allowed us to use it. But they really did not want any part of it. But like as persistent as I am, we kept it and doing it. I did it twice, went to Lansing for my company, and they gave me both of them. One of them was kind of critical where the release of lien, we were supposed to get it to the Secretary of State within 15 days. If you didn't get them in 15 days, you got a $100 fine. Well, I kept a log, and Bank of the West were always late, 15 days. Every time I took the paperwork in, it cost me another $100. Well, I'll take care of you. I did wire transfer of money. They got the money the same day. It still took them 15 days. Guess what? The whole state gets 30 days now before they get a fine.
Policy notes. Dave Renwick, 685 Amenia. You gave me more food for thought at this meeting. I only got to view the last meeting. The talk about getting another weed harvester kind of pricked an old wound. We bought a weed harvester back in 2012, 2013. And why we need a new one at this point, I don't know. And the rationales given don't add up. First off, the DNR, if we're going to get a weed harvester, we really ought to involve the DNR Eagle, whatever it's called now. Back when I was on council, there was a general consensus on the water board that somehow the DNR was evil and was going to take away our rights. And the DNR manages thousands of lakes, hundreds of man-made lakes. And they kind of know what they're doing. You know, we can say, well, we get a limnologist. Well, yeah, well, these guys are limnologists for hundreds of lakes, not just ours. So don't be afraid of the DNR. Don't be afraid to ask for help. But that particular machine, I did kind of a drill down on it. And apparently the only place it's been used is on a river system. Our lake is not a river system. Our lake is a man-made lake. And the weeds that it goes after, the weeds that it goes for are water stargrass, and I believe that our weeds are milfoil. And water stargrass relies on a root system. Milfoil does not. So a machine that works like the one that was presented to you guys beats the hell out of the weeds. And the more the weeds fragment, the more they grow, the more opportunity they have to multiply. So I would absolutely, stargrass does not do that. Stargrass needs a root system. It can be pulled, it can be fragmented, but not what we've got. So I would definitely tell you to be cautious about spending another, I believe the last time it was quoted at $250,000, and I think it ended up costing less because the company was less than helpful. But yeah, I would definitely do a deeper dive than what was presented to you, because the only place that this machine has been used is on a river system, not a man-made lake. So, and the DNR would tell you that. Anyone in the DNR would have told you that up front. They're a reliable government agency. I would encourage you to use them. Thank you very much.
Monique McGee, 814 Wolverine Drive. Just going to comment on, I'm glad to see that you guys are looking at some additional pressure on our waste managing, our contract with our waste collection company, whose name I can't think of right now. I know I don't always call in when mine isn't picked up, and I think it's important, and I will start letting all my neighbors know that we must do that, especially if you're going to start trying to collect some data. But it's not that easy to find it on our website. So if we could make it a little easier to find on our website how you do that. In frustration when one is busy and trying to deal with that too, and you go on the website and you can't find it, you just give up and you let it go. So I'll encourage everybody to, in my area, to report it when they're not being collected, even though it's everybody on the street or on our corner of the street or whatever, and especially now. But I'm glad I'm glad you're all going to start pushing a little harder, because it is really frustrating, and everybody's just up in arms. But there's a lot of good, too. I just can't think about the many things that I've often thought, I should go and let them know. Thank you for this and thank you for that. I'll do that the next time.
Motion to close?
Motion to close, enough in a second. Just before we do, I'd like to just address, Ms. Renwick, I appreciate your concerns with the harvester, and we, by no means did we approve any purchase of any harvester. We approved the further investigation into it. So, yeah, at no point is it, even there, we're at the very beginning stages of looking into it as presented to us by the water board. And so that's what they're taking out at this point. So, yeah, we have not in any way approved the purchase of a new harvester. So,
Mr. President, I'd like to point out that it was actually directed that they talk to Eagle.
Correct.
So that is the
Yeah,
state
thank you.
governing body.
Thank you.
I have a question too, on the priority waste. How long should somebody wait, or what is there, before they report it?
Immediately.
7 p.m. that day, right?
Yeah.
No, we would ask for a Monday pickup if you contact the office Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning. Give them the full day.
Because, I mean, I've seen trucks on my street until 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But Tuesday morning, feel free to go on the website and log in the complaint, or if you can't find the link on the website, feel free to call the village hall too. And we can take the information and make the entry in the portal ourselves.
Yes, we currently have a motion and to close in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, second call is closed. Of council liaison reports, Parks and Rec.
Thank you. It's been a busy month already. We had our blood drive on June 1st. We had a successful blood drive, getting 15 units, and the goal was 13, so we exceeded that. Next drive is August 3rd, I think is the date, where we'll be targeting 15 units for that one. Already have about 12 people signed up. Spring garage sale went well, had about 45 people signed up for that one, which is pretty surprising. It's usually the quieter of the two. So that went pretty well, it sounds like. We had our 5K on the 23rd. That was damp. But 5K people are a different breed. And so we had about 70 signed up and 65 showed. So if they want to run in the puddles and everything, more power to them. The bubble run went really well as well. It was a little fun having to get tents set up to protect the machines and all that stuff, but it worked out really well. And despite all the rain, everybody had a good time, and it was a really impressive turnout. And we had beautiful shirts made up and everything else by our local resident, Brandon Thorne. They came out great. First Tuesdays in the Park is next Tuesday, June 16th. We have our dog show coming up on the 20th, so if you got a dog, sign them up, and if you don't, come out and check them out. And then, of course, the farmer's market is ongoing. Yesterday's was a little bit of a bummer. The nature has not been as kind this year yet. 2 of our 4 have been a little wet. Yesterday's was, we closed up a little early just to avoid having to watch everybody close up in the rain. This coming Tuesday, with Tuesdays in the Park, should be a good one. We got a food truck coming, soul food. So that should be a nice addition. Got on the 23rd, we got Shop Dog cheeseburgers, and on the 30th, we have the Taco Hub, which was a huge hit at the May 26th farmers market. So I know folks are excited for that. Plants are starting to come in, vegetables are starting to come in, so check it out. Veterans Memorial Subcommittee, we've cleaned up the park and everything and laid some mulch down, hung a couple of banners for the 250th anniversary of the country. We've laid down the posts for the Claire Miller Park signs. We haven't actually hung the directions yet, but the posts have been cemented into the ground, so they're not going anywhere. And getting going on that. And so we should have those put all together soon. Linda's back from being out of town, so that was the big draw there. And I did not have a meeting for Commerce Parks and Rec. They decided to cancel my first meeting. I don't know if it was me, but I'm just going to assume it was. And that was about everything.
Unfortunately, I was unable to attend due to some work. I believe this month there is a case. Planning on attending that one.
Water management.
We haven't had a meeting since our last update at the work session. And then planning commission, so.
Thank you. Chief?
Our new officer, Thomas Silva, is starting. His first day with us is July 6th. You will get to officially meet him at the next council meeting next month. And we are prepping for Tiki Night 2026. It's going to be Sergeant Keller's first major assignment, so she's excited about that. And so as we prep, looking forward to an uneventful but exciting, great fireworks night. So I will see you around town then. That's all I have for you, Mr. President.
Just in our department, we're getting ready to roll out tax bills. I think we'll be applying the new millage rate and getting those ready this week, and you can expect to see those in your mailbox on July 1st or thereabouts. Other than that, we're just closing up the year and really, really busy. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Administrator Gill?
A couple quick points. You may recall at our meeting last month, there was one of their postal carriers came and asked if they could put a sign on village property in support of their food drive that they were having, and we had agreed to do that. So I got the report back this year. The letter carriers locally collected 10,344 pounds of food, which is a ton, yeah, 5 tons of food, which actually, I guess, is down. They have had better years, but this was still a pretty good year. And the other thing that they wanted me to point out is that all the food that they gather is kept locally, too. It goes over to Hospitality House. So it's used to the benefit of people in our area who need that food this time of year. So appreciate all their work on a day-to-day basis, but the extra work on the day that they did on their food carrier drive is great. So if you see your postal carrier, be sure to give them a big thanks. So a little bit of clarification. I know at least one of you was contacted by residents regarding what appeared to be village employees potentially using village equipment to cut lawns in the village during regular business hours. Just to clarify, that obviously is not something that we allow in terms of village equipment being used on village time. We do have a couple of the employees in our Department of Public Works who have their own lawn care businesses, and they do have customers who are in the village. So they do cut grass within the village. We have laid down some guidelines. Number one, obviously, they're not allowed to do that on their time. They're not allowed to do it with our equipment. Both of those employees have their own riding mower, their own, what do you call the?
Zero turn.
Zero turn, thank you, yeah. They both have their own zero turn mowers that they will trailer to work with them on days that they're going to be working in the village. So the only thing that we've asked of them specifically is that when they are doing work for their private clients, that they at least turn their village t-shirts inside out. So where you don't have people driving around cutting your neighbor's lawn wearing village gear during regular business hours. But what they do on their lunch hours is really up to them. We don't control that. And they often will go out and knock off a lawn or two while they're on their lunch hour. And again, as long as their shirt is turned inside out, that's perfectly fine. But in terms of doing it while they're on the clock, absolutely not. In terms of using village equipment to do it, absolutely not either. So if anybody sees that during the day and they have questions about it, please feel free to have them call the village hall. We'll look into it because it is something we take seriously. But we've got some clear guidelines in place, and hopefully there won't be any problems with the staff and the DPW. So hopefully that'll clear up for any calls or questions that any of you got. So Just a real quick shout out to Jeff Miller, one of our former DPW employees and longtime village resident. Jeff's been having some health problems lately. Been going to see the doctors a lot. They're trying to get a handle on what's going on. But we wish Jeff a speedy recovery, and hopefully that all works out well for him. And then just real briefly, I know Mark's dad has been very ill, and our best wishes and thoughts go to Mark and his family for his father. And then segue there, before our special meeting on the 24th, Sunday the 21st is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And then we'll see everybody again at our special meeting on the 24th. Thank you.
Thank you. Start with Pam.
Okay. I already had done Happy Father's Day, to everybody, so that's good that you brought that up. And for those that we might not see in 2 weeks, happy July 3rd and 4th Tiki Night. And we'll probably start selling candles in about 2 weeks. From past experience, everybody waits to pretty much the last minute, or at least the last week or 2 weeks. So, so I'll be in contact, and I'll be picking those up shortly. Today we had our monthly Leah meeting, and it was interesting. Just a few quick facts for the 2025-26 school year that we sponsored 45 children in art therapy in middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. Sponsored 100 kids in yoga, basically preschool and then elementary grades, and it's a huge hit. And they cry when the season's over because they want to continue. They love the yoga, and it's probably really good. That would be really good for kids that are having any kind of issues, kind of calming them down. Youth enrichment, there were 11 kids so far this year. That involved driver's training, lacrosse, cheerleading, pay-to-play, tennis, and soccer and baseball. And then we did approximately 360 boredom buster bags that we're giving June 3rd and 4th to all the Title I 4th graders in Walled Lake school systems. The Leah caseworker so far has had 113 cases so far this year. I think it's quite a lot. Anyway, great time last Saturday attempting the Onwards and Upwards fundraiser that was held at Links of Novi. It was a lot of fun. Great weather. Oh my gosh. And we just sat outside and just looked how beautiful the whole terrain was on the golf course. And your prior boss, I think, and Mr. Spencer, or Kanish, I think, came up with they were the winners. John was. So, congratulations to Dave Hunt on the zoning board, and congratulations to Molly and Mike on Onward and Upward scholarships. And I'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Great. Happy summertime to all the students in the community. Many thanks to Chief Sovic and Dean Transportation for their partnership in establishing the new bus route along Lakeview. Your collaboration and openness to improvement are truly appreciated. Our new community garden looks beautiful. Sincere thanks to Carmine Marshall and the volunteers who shared their time and expertise to bring this vision to life. The Onwards and Upwards golf outing was a tremendous success. Thank you to all of our sponsors and attendees for their enthusiasm and charitable support. Looking ahead, Onwards and Upwards will host our 3rd annual Back to School Bash on the shores of Mallow Beach on Friday, August 21st from 4 to 7. We will again be collecting supplies for Leah. It's sure to be a fun afternoon of swimming, good food, and lasting memories. More information will be available on the village website in the coming weeks. Happy Tiki Night to all of our villagers and visitors. This year's fireworks show is set to be our largest yet. If you haven't already, please consider donating to Onwards and Upwards to support this long-standing community tradition. Lastly, happy Father's Day to all the fathers, especially my husband, who is the best father our kids could ever hope for.
Well, happy Father's Day, happy Independence Day, happy birthday to America, and everyone stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Happy Father's Day to everybody, and see you all in a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day and happy 4th of July.
So as Pam mentioned in here, the Coxer Golf Outing was a big success. Thank you to all the volunteers, to the Leagues of Novi for being a great place to host it. It went really well. We dodged the rain that we thought was going to hit, so that was great. Unfortunately, in case you haven't heard, the Lake Rally has been canceled for this year due to a lack of signups, but hopefully we'll be bringing that back next year. As Aaron mentioned, donating to On and Up, all of you should have had in your newsletter this year this little insert. If you can take this and hang it up at your parties, or at least make sure everybody knows where they can donate. Even $5 makes a difference. We've had $5 bills donated here at the village office, which to me was just awesome, because I got to go to the bank either way, so $5 more is all the better. Thank you to Rich Ayers for creating the quiet hour at the village, at the Claire Miller Park. It is something to see, and boy, people just, they are so impressed with it, from the youngest children to the oldest person. They all love it, and they're like, who did this, and all these things, and I'm like, well, it was definitely not me. Really, and thank you to the DIA for giving us this grant, this opportunity. It's just such a great addition to the park. Congratulations to Molly and Michael on winning the scholarships. They were great to work with at the corn roast and other events, though Michael did lose the pie eating contest that he should have won because he was competing against like 8-year-olds. But other than that, just great. They make such a difference, the NHS kids and everything that help out at the corn roast and other events. And then thank you, congratulations to David Hunt and Mary Jo Hurst for volunteering to step up and help the community. Hope everybody has a happy, safe third. Enjoy the biggest fireworks show ever in Wolverine Lake, and happy Father's Day.
Ever. Parker, thoughts and prayers are with
Thanks.
family. And just happy Father's Day, and let's have a safe tiki for the residents and our police team.
That's the plan.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?